Here is a commercial viability checklist. It's also attached to this video as a PDF, and it was compiled with help from Carl Henrik Wahl at On Track Music, who are a great publisher based in Norway. So basically, for your music to be commercially viable, you must meet all of these. Your songs are always written in the appropriate song form to the genre. So that would be ABABCB form, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus for pop or country pop, AAA for folk, AABA for jazz. In other words, you've got to know about song forms and you've got to know about your craft. You've got to know, for example, that in a pop song you write to the chorus, and in an electronic dance song, you write to the drop, that kind of thing. So your songs must contain really strong hooks, and that's melodic hooks, lyrical hooks, and secondary hooks. So I've written here, this is the biggie. This is really important. If your songs don't have strong hooks, they're not likely to be signed. So lyrics. The phrasing has to be there. It has to scan properly. No cliche. We want to avoid cliche. There needs to be a progression in the story of your song. Usually the use of wireframing will help with this. You need to have strong use of image, metaphor, or a conversational style. Some publishers don't like an AABB rhyme scheme. I've used it myself in songs that I have had published, but just that's something to be aware of. So both the lyrical and the musical content should be aimed at the target audience. You are writing to an audience, not just to yourself. So that a song that is personal to you but nobody else can understand it isn't really likely to sell. I once heard it said that good writing lets an audience feel the songwriter's story, but great writing makes an audience feel that the songwriter is telling their story. Something to think about. If you want to write for specific artists, are you familiar with their style? And as we said earlier, the song should sound like their next album, not their last one. So you should have a catalogue to pitch of at least 20 well-produced songs, including a high proportion of up-tempo, upbeat songs. It's much easier to get a publishing deal with an upbeat song, and it's much, much easier to get a sync with an upbeat song. I know we can all think of quite downbeat songs that were used in films, etc. But a lot of sync is work in advertising, and brands don't want their brand associated with people feeling miserable. So happy, high energy is more likely to get you there. Your songs should obviously have some originality, some spark about them, which is uniquely you. But on the other hand, they should be on trend and ahead of the trend. And we talked a little bit earlier about how you can start trying to achieve that. You should have, as we mentioned earlier, positive feedback from credible industry figures. If your friends and your family love your songs, that's great, but you need to know that someone in the industry will back them in order to be sure that your song is commercially viable. And as I said earlier, you can find this commercial viability checklist attached to this lecture as a PDF if you want to print it off.